Who says lightning
Welcome
can
back.
strike twice?
What a story, Jova.
Funny.
Admit it, guys. That was better than any joke they're
Oh
gonna try
my
and do in
god!
this game.
Shut up!
So, Pedro, you want to take a shot
It's
every...
like sitting in a university.
Hey, Pedro,
But
you want to...
anyway, the arc function is our hub world, and from there we can teleport to any major location. So the game is gonna be divided into story arcs, essentially. You explore a region, just solve their shit, and see what happens.
Well, that's just typical JRPG structure.
Let me guess, this
anyway.
place is called
True,
the...
but aside from a couple of road blocking, I think this is a more open structure.
Yeah, you can literally go to any region and do them in any order you want.
for
However,
snow,
the
I'm
problem
guessing.
is that the story is still written in a linear fashion. So if you keep alternating between various territories for the sake of maximizing your efficiency with time, because remember you only have 13 days to finish the game, Majora's Mask style.
You were always brave.
That means you're going to be seeing cutscenes from different storylines back to back.
Oh my god, are there any cutscenes where characters are actually reference things that have not yet happened?
No, fortunately no. But it becomes really jarring where in the moment you're watching a scene with Snow brooding and angsty, and then the moment you can be seeing a cutscene involving a dying chocobo, Like if you're trying to maximize your efforts, like I always do with these types of games, the story as a result becomes kind of a clusterfuck of jumping from. Go ahead.
Also, it's also at your own risk and peril because depending on the time you face certain challenges, enemy will be stronger or weaker depending on how much time is left. And the more time is carved, the more you're close to the end of the world, the more powerful your enemies and bosses become.
That's actually a good segue into one of my points, Theo. Thanks. Here's the thing. What is it, Joel?
The clothing here is inconsistent. Like, okay, you have some people in casual-looking outfits, and then you have other people in mystical-looking outfits, and it's just a really terrible bout of consistency. It's like, Jesus, and oh my god, 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 oh my god. Did you notice the woman who was passing by that other woman? They literally had the same face and hairdo. It's just like, oh, okay, here's a problem here. In Final Fantasy XV, it made sense when characters had more casual clothes because they were more out in the country as opposed to being in the city.
That's the theme. The basic theme when Nomura came up with the concept in general was a fantasy based on reality. So that was the whole point.
Yeah, there are literally some people wearing jeans in this universe, and it just doesn't mix. Like even Sonic 06 had a better semblance for who needed to wear the more mystical clothes and who got to wear the more casual clothes. But here, though.
Also, before anyone tells me that, it's just like the old JRPGs where the characters, the playable protagonists speak like sword palms compared to the NPCs. True, but you also have to remember that in the first game, or first 13, the characters' clothes, while being unique, felt more homogenic compared to the, for example, to the Psycho soldiers that you're facing off. Yes, you have unique shit like Snow superpower trench coat bullshit, but it still felt something like any people could wield anything.
Also,
Here, Lightning's outfits are terrible.
So let me get this straight. Vanille got recovered from her crystal status off screen.
Yeah.
Anyway,
actually, not precisely off screen. You just didn't see her because it was right at the end of 13-2.
Well, I know that they got rescued. No, wait, hold on. I know that they got rescued while they were crystal. We saw that, but we never see them recover from being crystal.
You're right. Anyway, Joe.
Wait, who are the heretics?
Like Jova, basically Jova, the Luxarian plot is that there's this cult of group called the Heretics who are against the whole God and Savior thing. So they're trying to kill Lightning and they'll kill anyone who looks exactly like her. Stuff like that.
So they willingly call themselves the Heretics, or is that just what the public call them?
They call themselves, what was the name?
Still be close.
They're gonna,
the sons,
be apparently wrong.
the sons of something. I forgot the name.
So let me see if I can get this straight. The public opinion is actually on Lightning's side, I guess, since these people are speaking not too kindly of the Heretics.
No, actually that's the opposite.
The evil savior will die at the ends of the Shadow Hunter.
The Shadow Hunter. The Shadow Hunter is apparently there's this group led by someone called Shadow Hunter, and they are against lightning, recruiting the souls. So they will do anything to stop her.
This reminds me of that scene from Dark Knight, which I wouldn't be surprised if they're ripping up. I mean, hey, they ripped off the Batman.
I wonder who this figure is.
But yes. But yeah, seriously though, my point is this though. So wait, from what I can understand, the public seem to not think too highly of the heretics, so wouldn't that mean that they're on Lightning's side then?
We don't know, Jova. The game never bothers to amplify this, and to a certain point, I can barely understand, because in a sense, remember, you have to understand the world is ending in a couple of days, so it's pretty much acceptable the fact that no one may give a shit.
Now I know what
you're
thinking, audience. Jova, stuff like the people's outfits not looking right, or all this background stuff, or bits about the people caring whether or not about Lightning, or whether they're with or against her. Actually, no, you'd be pretty stupid to think those are minuscule. I was going somewhere with that, but no, these are details of this very world that were... Actually, I don't even know if we're trying to save it. I guess we're trying to get souls of the Ark with us.
I think what Jova's trying to get at is that a moment of a game being a bit self-aware and having people actually look at Lightning with a weird look would have added a bit more credence to the world as we live in. As a result, all of the NPCs just come across as just lifeless puppets who are just there to fill out space.
Like, hey, I'm gonna give Super Mario Sunshine. Yes, one of the most stupid game plot points ever. And yes, people hate the citizens of Al Delfino. Want to know why? Because we know where their allegiances are, with their stupid selfish selves, but I digress. I mean, in Al Delfino, you get people constantly lambasting you, mistaking you for Shadow Mario. You can tell Mario is not well-liked. Heck, even in Sonic Adventure 2, which was not open world-based, you could tell that the general public was against Sonic as they...
This is important. Almighty Benevalza created 3 gods for his world: Etro, Pulse, and Lindsay. Etro was the goddess without any power of her own. In contrast, both Pulse and Lindsay were granted near limitless power, and they built the False Sea. So there you go. 3 games in, and we're finally explaining how...
And trust me, that's just the surface.
Also, wouldn't it have made sense at the first...
yeah, that maker that we're talking about in the first game, that's Benevalza, apparently.
Those are the... Wait, so that's who the Super Pope was trying to meet?
Yeah.
It's all abundantly clear that they were just making all of this shit as they went along.
You know what this means, Jova? Once again, the original plan of the Super Pope at this point is completely moot, because it was bound to happen anyway at some point.
Also, wouldn't it have made sense if Lindsay was called Cocoon, since, one of the gods is called Pulse, and, we have Grand Pulse, like...
That's because what is written in the Fable of Crystallis. Essentially, Jova, to give an extremely boring explanation short, while Pulse was pro-humans, sorta, Lindsay was more egotistical. So thus, when they created their worlds, Pulse dedicated himself to it, while Lindsay instead decided to name it something else.
And yet Cocoon, Lindsay's world, was the world where humans ended up populating. Go figure.
Actually, there were also human on Pulse. Remember,
well, you know what I mean.
The whole war thing.
Well, you know what I mean, though. It's like, ironically, Pulse was made out to be the uninhabitable place for humans.
Later on, Jova, that's what happened later on. Before that, there was the entire war. There was an entire civilization before on Pulse. That's what Fang and Vanille actually told in the game, and that was actually not in the dialogue. That's the things that Vanille and Fang told in the first game.
Well, that's why I said it was ironic, Tio. I didn't mean like, well, right there. I meant it's ironic. And oh my God, that guy popped in.
Not just that.
These clothes are so...
I'm sorry. Why is that guy cosplaying as Ahsoka and doing it terribly?
Not just that, but in Jova's defense, these plots are so convoluted and throw so many... It's so easy to forget details like those. That's the problem.
And
if the games had better focus and actually just kept things somewhat simple so that it's more easy to follow, then it would be much easier to remember these things.
And so what did Ichiro have to do with any of all this anyway? What was she
Intro
just...
was the wild card, let's just say that.
I mean, she seems to be the main reason for this because, you know, 13-2.
Now remember, she was also the goddess of that Lightning became the Valkyrie of in 13-2.
Like, wouldn't it have made sense for Pulse to be the god or goddess that Lightning got into since Pulse is the one who's all pro-human?
Well, might as well, because the game is not gonna tell you anytime soon, so I might as well just for the sake of answering the question. I know the whole, oh, it's not explained, so it's not worth it, but only for the sake of answering your question in particular, Jova. What much like the Beast of Dialogue that Pedro mentioned, Etro was born without powers. Universal considered her essentially a failure and discarded her in the Unseen Realm.
Oh,
the
so
place where
Univelsa's
Valhalla-
the dad,
more
I
of a-
guess.
the place where Valhalla was. Then Universal went to sleep and told Pulse and Lindsay to just govern the humans, FLC, in waiting for his return eventually one day. Pulse and Lindsay hated each other and started a war and blah blah blah, we know that. Peace. Etro was confined in the Unseen Realm, and essentially she took a fond of humans and converted their souls into the chaos, the black substance of that. So essentially, apparently in this continuity, the afterlife is being trapped in a mass of black goop. Fantastic.
Why did
Just
she
to
even
try
do
to go
that?
back.
Not just that, there is also a bit that kind of ruins the entirety of Final Fantasy Type 0, but that one I'm not gonna spoil right now. I'm gonna save it for the actual game. The point being, eventually eventually Pulse and Lindsay decided to just spam souls into the Unseen Realm to trigger Etro's death and thus hastening Universal's awakening. That was the gist of it.
So they're basically like, okay, neither of us are gonna win this argument, so let's get Dad to come in.
Pretty much,
Basically.
it's stupid sounds.
Basically.
Go ahead, Pedro.
Well, to be fair, Teo's still better than the lore between the vile god and the goddess, I guess.
But Pedro,
True,
but
but
Pedro,
it's-
but Pedro, but Pedro, you have to read supplementary material to get this knowledge.
Oh my god, that face.
So let me get this straight, Pedro. You're saying that something you have to learn supplementary material-wise is better.
Get it, guys? He's got an
that's
investigator and he's called Holmes.
Not just that, but he's
Oh,
also but he's
no.
voiced by Sam Riegel.
What? Oh yeah, Sherlock Holmes 2.0, baby.
I can't go to the station. That's where
Remember, Sam Riegel is one of the additional voice
I
actors
might as
for
well
this
mention
trilogy.
this. Might as well mention this, Pedro. A lot of talented voice actors are completely,
Oh, yeah,
utterly wasted as additional voices and nothing more.
Teo, we've been saying this since the first game.
I know, but well,
It stands
true, but
out
in
here
this case,
especially.
they went to the extra mile. Like, it seems like there is the entire gang wasted in this case.
Basically.
Sam Rico, Laura Bailey, Steve
Kieran
Blum.
Thornton.
I'd like to make
Travis Willingham.
I'd like to make a good point though. Like Teo said, the time is almost done, and everything. But that's exactly one of the big problems here. Is of course the fucking time. Teo was saying that
Why are we
what-
just walking?
Supposedly, we need to bleed the Holmes to the investigation scene.
because apparently Holmes is so stupid that he cannot find his way back to the station, which is just right here.
So let me get this straight. If you run ahead, you'll lose him.
Yes, apparently this guy is a fucking has all the intelligence of a 2-year-old.
Is our inspector?
This
Oh,
is worse than an escort mission.
Shiroi, you have limited vision. Tell me, would you get lost in a city that small from a train station that is clearly marked the way this guy did?
No.
Not just that, like, but back to what I was saying though. Like again, Teo said that, like as Teo said, yes. If when you get to the final days of the 13-day cycle, monsters get stronger. That's true. However, don't worry everybody, because unless you really suck bad at this game, you will never see those stronger monsters. Why? Because here's a problem. You have 13 days to do all the five main quests, so you can move on to the final dungeon and climax. The game gives you way more time than you could possibly ever need.
Let's see.
Trust
Majora's
me. By the
Mask
time-
was like
if you know what you're
essentially-
doing, you'll finish this in 4 days.
Let's see, so-
game time, I mean.
Let's
In
see.
game time.
Let's see. So in Majora's Mask, essentially, it was 3 hours of game time that counted as the 3 days, I believe. So how does it work here, Pedro?
Yeah, the day cycle. Basically, there's 13 days. However, well, actually, technically at the
Oh,
beginning
and
it's
we
6.
rescued their souls? What?
Oh yeah, well remember, Jova, we established this in the previous part that Lightning's mission is to save the souls of the people, and the souls she saves are the ones who get to join
Also-
God in the new Earth.
Also, it's another good
I
segue.
get that,
You
but how do we
not
save his
lose-
soul just by helping him find a train station?
Well, this is
It's
typical
similar to the-
JRPG side quest thing, Jova.
Jova, it's similar to
help
the
the-
yokai
One at a time,
medals,
one at a
come on.
time, one at a time.
It's similar to the yokai medals in Yokai Watch. You
I'm
do a
s-
good deed, you befriend these people.
Well, okay, here's the problem, though. In Yokai Watch, it's just you're getting a friend, so it's not as big a deal as, say, saving someone's soul from all damnation. And again, look, actually add some story context to it. Like, maybe be like, he's a ghost, so he needs to find the train station, but he can't see because of some sins of his past. Like, I don't know, maybe some extra story fluff. It's just like, well, if you're actually gonna have it be this so goddamn serious, commit to it even in the gameplay. Heck, it wouldn't even require too much gameplay. Add some story bits you're explaining how this is saving their souls. Like, seriously, this is like saying, oh hey, if you help this old grandma walk the street, you're essentially saving her from going to hell, and she'll go to heaven. Like, what? Why? Seriously, why? I know I shouldn't be asking for much, but god dang it, it's so story-based. This is supposed to be the big culmination of a trilogy. There should be some answers, not more questions.
It makes you wonder what they're up to.
Also, what Pedro showed at the end of that side quest was also another good segue. You don't level up anymore by fighting battles in this game. You level up stats, single
By doing
stats.
side quests.
Yeah.
I guess, to be fair, side quests are a necessity anyway.
I don't know, it should have been a complimentary thing, like a bonus that you get.
It's-
It's not
Well-
so much Jova, it's more so the fact that all the side quests, all of them
I didn't mention
are
any shadow
boring
hunter, but thanks to the tip.
boring
Who's
fetch
he?
quests that are terrible and don't tell any worthwhile stories in them.
Here's
This is
the-
not a Nier Automata, I assure you.
So here's the problem, though. It's like, well, from what I can gather, it's required that you do side quests whether or not you want to level up anyway. It's like, I never get RPGs like this. Why bother calling them side quests if you have to do them
They're so
anyway?
mandatory.
Yeah, not just that, Jova, but the big problem is that the side quests are just get these sheep in the corral, check around the city to see if the clocks are working.
Oh,
The quests,
Pedro,
it's
you
like,
don't-
it's like this game took the worst MMO side quests and stuffed them in a single game.
Don't you have like
You know
people
what?
for those jobs?
Hold on, let me finish. As a result, the impending doomsday that the story is hinging on is completely undermined by how mundane what you're doing is.
Yeah.
So, Pedro, you know what's sad? Some of those side quests you described, those are side quests that you find in Dr. Trek, a 3DS handheld game.
Not just that, even that mechanic is familiar. In Dr. Lautrec, the side quests are more mandatory than they should be because you get artifacts that actually help you actually making the main plot line much easier, especially for the ending boss.
But,
Allow me to remind you that in Majora's Mask, you had a side quest. You had to save the cows from being abducted by aliens, and if you didn't, not only would they kidnap the cows, but it would the fucking lobotomize the little girl.
Yeah.
Marlene,
Like,
I think her name is.
no.
Starts with an
Romani.
M.
Romani.
Oh, never mind. I'm thinking of someone from Ocarina of Time.
Well, she is supposed to be the Terminator equivalent of
Yeah.
because you know,
Also-
go
Also,
ahead.
yeah, there is platforming in this game, but Doombauer is scripted as fuck. Every single ledge and stair is painted red. It's so blatantly obvious where you're
Hold
supposed
on, Till. That kid is now trying to climb the stairs, but since I'm right there, he won't. He's not allowed. He can't. Every time he gets there, he gets booted off the stairs. I'm not even kidding.
So, Shiroi,
There you go.
how
Right now.
Here we
And there he goes.
So,
yes.
well, he moonwalked down. Anyway, so Shiroi, how amateur are we now, gameplay-wise, at this point?
Yeah, you thought the NPC programming in 13.2 was bad? Look, think again, because this game has some of the most unintentionally hilarious NPC programming.
You
Like,
know,
seriously, the best
I can tell you
aspect,
from experience, yeah.
the most entertaining aspect of this game is trying out shit and seeing how the NPCs react, because the programming is so terrible that a lot of times they do some stupid shit. Like,
also, this is some of the most laziest naming I've seen. Scared boy. Yes, they literally have to tell us that he's a scared boy in his text name. Like, I mean, maybe this would apply, you know, maybe back when gaming was, like, in its infancy. But you're telling me that in 2014, you couldn't have maybe just had the voice actor actually sound scared or, you know, give the boy a proper name? No. They have to say scared boy in the text. Like, next you'll be saying that Pedro is an annoyed Portuguese, or I am an enraged American. Tio is a smart Italian, and Shiroi is a Welsh who cannot speak Welsh.
And I'm gonna remind her that both in Nier Automata and in Ni no Kuni 2, every single NPC has his own name.
I mean, that's
Well,
kind of the
Sonic 06
norm
did this
nowadays.
too.
Like, yeah, that's the thing. Even Sonic 06 at least bothered to give names to all the different people.
No.
Although, to be
Well,
fair, also,
not always.
Well, okay,
Yeah.
for the
also,
most
to be
part.
fair, that game also has some way odd NPC behavior.
Also,
The
Sonic
pigeon
06
got
was,
But
you
it's,
know...
oh, come on, Teo. Sonic 06 ain't got shit compared to this one.
I mean,
True.
and you know, Sonic 06
But
was
that's also
made
the
in
problem. That was a game of
2006.
2006, this was like 2013.
The children of
Yeah.
Or 14, I forgot.
Well, 13 in Japan, 14 in the West.
Wait,
But that's also another good segue about the NPC behavior. I think I mentioned already, but during the promotional marketing campaign of this game, Toriyama and another bloke actually came here to Milan, where I live in
Because
Italy.
Toriyama loves Italy, apparently.
Don't want to touch her that 10-foot pole. The point being, they showed a gameplay demonstration that was, I think, here in Luxerion. Here's the thing. There's this sequence where Lightning is talking to an NPC, I think it's the one-man band, yeah. Due to the way the NPC is constructed, he has like these trumpet protruding from his face. And during the dialogue, which is showcased right exactly like this is happening, Lightning in front of the NPC talking banter, the models started flipping through each other with their faces. And the people who were demonstrating the demo, since they were just explaining and they actually weren't watching the screen, they did not knew until the audience started bursting in laughter.
guys, that guy's hood literally disappeared when a spirit came through. As in, they could not animate the spirit coming from under his hood. They had to digitally remove the hood just to show the aura going to Lightning.
Brilliant.
Like,
How
how easy can you be?
That was also the sign, one of the first time that told me that I shouldn't have bought the game in the first place, but I already made my decision by the end of 13.2 anyway.
And you're telling me that that was shown in promotional material, like
Yes,
clipping.
A reminder, Jova, there were official gaming journalists in that conference.
Oh god, like that. Well, no wonder this game didn't sell well. You're sending it out to slaughter with that.
Not just that, remember, Jova, that was also the mini conference where Toriyama proudly said that graffiti were present because he saw a lot of graffiti in Milan and thought maybe it was a good thing.
Oh, is that the
Never
one
mind
where
fact
he
that,
shook your hand?
Never mind the fact that 90% of them are pure vandalism, that only deturpates the buildings.
Hell,
Shotolina!
you know.
I still find it interesting too how you actually shook that guy's hand. I would first before shaking his hand, I would first ask if he washed his hands before I
Politeness,
consider.
Pedro, and second of all, I
Politeness.
got some autographed copies of the first two games that I will proudly sell
Sure.
on Amazon as soon as their value will rank up.
They'll be valuable eventually. And hey, like Tia said, you know, politeness. I mean, look, let me put it like this.
For me, politeness is overrated, honestly.
I think politeness is a virtue. Besides, it's the best way, honestly. Like, you should have seen how everyone was so polite to Joe Quesada before then lambasting him with what he did to Spider-Man. See, here's the thing. Be polite
Also,
first.
what is that NPC doing?
I don't know, showing off her butt, whatever.
If I've ever met Toriyama, I would just ask him this. Tell me this. Is your mother proud of you?
Yeah.
Is she?
See, yeah.
Because she shouldn't.
See, look, So, Pedro, here's the idea. First, be polite, so then you have credibility, and then the crowd's on your side. Then you ask him if his mother's polite. That's how it's done. Just do it politely.
Crowds, you mean?
Exactly. That's how you do it. Be polite, and then lead up with that question. The audience will be
Not
on your
just
side,
that,
trust me.
Not just that, Pedro. Not reasoning and being polite to situation is the easy way out. The lazy one that always takes more trouble than actually that is worth it.
Well,
And
Pedro,
it-
I'm a lazy fuck. What can I tell you?
Well, the problem is, like, it'll end up taking away from your credibility, and to be fair, Pedro, that's the Donald Trump way of doing things. Do you really want to be like the Orange?
Well, the thing is, Joe, unlike Donald Trump, I only do it to people who have demonstrated to not really be worth my sympathy.
It's a matter of perspective, Pedro. That's how he
Really?
views it, too.
Well, whatever. This
But
is just
anyway,
personal
though,
stuff anyway.
Yeah, going back to a complaint I have with this, though. I mean, so simply, all this is a matter of saving people's souls. So, my question is this, though: who's even left living from whatever happened in 13-2's ending? I'm not even.
Yeah,
still
that's also
sure.
another good point. In case you don't remember,
That's it. The Children of Etro. That's their fucking name. I just
Oh,
remembered.
okay.
The Children of Etro. That's.
In case you were wondering, at the end of 13-2, like I mentioned detailedly, everyone died, and it wasn't exaggerated. Technically, everyone is dead at this point.
Except Caius and Yuo, apparently. but
Yeah,
that's
this
just
supposedly is a limbo kind of state. The geography of Cocoon, essentially, in Cocoon and Pulse, merged together after all chaos debacle, for this new land, and the people who died by the effect of chaos essentially found themselves there with two new conditions. They are not able to procreate, and they do not age.
So
unless they're actively killed by violence, they can live eternally. Sounds good enough for me.
But no
the
sex.
The war essentially was a ticking bomb anyway.
But-
So
But Tio,
Let me just recap
What
the
is
plot
left-
since we've been talking over it.
really, there's
Basically,
plot
the
to
idea-
recount? Go on.
Basic is that we have to find out who the Shadow Hunter is, because well, we have to clear our name and shit.
So we're exactly
Uh,
where we left off from in the last part. We mentioned the Shadow Hunter.
yeah, but the basic gist of it.
What the heck is up with those guys over there? What are those NPCs even doing?
Pedro,
Pedro, don't bail on me now. Oh boy. Shiroi, you're the new Pedro.
Wait, why me?
well, point is whatever. Let me just.
So you can be more involved. You've been rather quiet
until
lately.
Pedro returns.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
But yeah, essentially now people have. So essentially, this new condition, despite the war being on a ticking time bomb, left people experiencing their most instinct and chaotic pleasures. Like the initial sequence was supposed to show that people were willing to indulge in their most deep desires.
How did they even know they're doomed?
Apparently, was the thing that was just established. Anyway, you're there, Pedro. Guess not.
Wait, oh my god, Assassin's Creed?
Also, take notice of the fact that he's holding the phone like that. He's gonna come back later.
These numbers I say. 7891.
The rites are beginning. Make haste.
Seriously,
Okay.
these guys look like they came out of Assassin's Creed, the Ezio trilogy specifically. What the
They
heck?
even have the ninja run.
And Lightning's just gonna casually follow after them, I guess. And, no!
Invitation to the party.
Yeah. So when the phone rings,
Surely!
There you go. The phone, the
What?
phone booth doesn't have the cord on
Where's
it.
the cord? That's not a cell phone, you fools!
That's not a wireless
Considering
phone,
you're doling out
guy.
advice.
Holy shit.
This game. Thanks, Hope. We really needed to know that. The children of Etro are holding nightly rituals in which they murder innocent women. What are they, Jack the Ripper all of a sudden?
No, Jova, don't you know? There's their only way, their way to play their D&D sessions. Yes, we can hear it, Pedro.
Fucking.
So, wait.
Discord has been fine in the last couple of weeks. They just decided to just fucking.
This reminds me of how it used to be that I always got screwed with on the 13 parts. Maybe Toriyama's just interfering with your connection. After all, it's called
No,
interference,
it's not
darling.
no, my connection is fine because the videos go fine, and I even watch them.
Your
in HD and
Discord
everything.
connection.
Yeah. Regardless of that, To finish off with one of Jova's previous questions that he asked me about how the time works. Basically, Jova, here's how it works. At the beginning, you have 6 days. However, every time you finish off one of the 5 main quests, you gain an extra day. For the cycle.
So essentially, you can just do all of your side quests and then decide, okay, now I'll do one of the main quests, and then boom. Like,
Yeah, basically, if you want to see the real ending and not just watch the bad ending of the world exploding, finish off all the 5 main quests.
I guess wait, hold on. You can skip one of the main quests.
Well, technically you can, but you'll just see the bad ending where it's just the world exploding.
So
which is
let me
canon.
get this.
okay.
So let me get this straight. Side quests are mandatory, but main quests you can skip.
Well,
What?
the thing is, Jova, if you do that, you cannot New Game Plus, so it's not like it's useful.
Again, it's such a backwards way of thinking, but okay, why make? So what's
It's
even
13.
the? Yeah, it's 13. So, okay, that aside though, but okay.
Just to remind you of something, Jova, from our 13.2 playthrough, allow me to recite to you, Jova, one of my personal favorite moments of yours in our 13.2 playthrough. It makes little to no sense to for your reward to beat the superpowered boss to be just failure. And as I replied to you, Jova, this is Final Fantasy 13.2. No matter what you do, you will always fail.
No,
Always be a loser.
No, I refuse. I'm going for the third option.
There is no third option.
Yes, there is a
But
third
it's-
option.
well, turning off the game, I guess. But that point being, which is why I took Jova, but the point being, as much as I would love to, there is no third option here.
Save your souls. That is what I'm
So
calling
yeah,
it.
we
I
were
fell
just
from
having this
soldier
thought
to.
about the children of Vetro killing people, right? But
Okay.
now, since I can't do anything for now in Luxarian, let's see what I can do in Yuznan.
What was the point of
let's
even-
completely
What was
let's completely change switch storylines in the shall we?
I'm sorry. What
Because
was
that's not jarring at all.
We literally had lightning falling after the group of assassins, and yet nothing comes out of it. What was even the point?
Well,
that's right, to get an
something does come
invitation.
out of it. It does come out of it, Joe, but the problem is that I can only start looking for the numbers that tell the code that I can use to enter the hideout when in the morning, which means I have to wait till next day before I can do it. So before the day is over, I might as well get some Yuznan stuff done while I'm at it.
Also, I mean, why does she need to find the numbers? I mean, why not just do it that same...
She heard that. No, I think they said they changed the code constantly.
They change the code every day.
Anyway, this is Yuznan, I think. This
Yes.
is the city that Snow governs.
Yeah.
So here's the problem, though. They know her voice, so shouldn't they know immediately that it'll be suspicious when she
They're
conveniently
just
has
that
the numbers the
stupid.
next time? Hey, this reminds me of that part from Final Fantasy X. I wish I were playing Final Fantasy X instead.
Yeah.
Oh god, this may be...
Allow me to remember, Jova, this is Final Fantasy 13, where the characters will always act stupid if it moves the plot forward.
Heck, I think the characters in Final Fantasy X were animated better.
I'm gonna
In
disagree
some
with that.
places. Okay. In some places,
I mean,
not all.
I mean, there's times in Final Fantasy X where the characters literally do nothing but just flail their arms.
Yeah.
Fair.
And it looks so.
Oh, right, this.
Although-
if you don't remember,
And before anyone says, well, it was 2001 mocap. Come on, give it. Well, allow me to remind everybody that back in 1998, Kojima had much better mocap with Metal Gear Solid 1, and allow me to also remind you that a year after 10 came out, Square Enix came out with Kingdom Hearts 1, which had much better mocap. So no, Final Fantasy X doesn't have no excuse.
Well, I'll give Final Fantasy X oh god, X-2, yes, X-2 is better. Anyway, we're at the train station.
Yeah, you may remember from also the previous game, best known is Lucy again, because of stuff that happened off screen in a Japanese exclusive novel. But the point being, she's a Lucy again. Here's the thing.
Oh no.
Hold on.
Visit. But I don't think
For all this time,
No.
Snow has been a Lucy. And not only does he not know what his focus is, and we will not know, he never turns into crystal nor properly into a thief. The closest thing we will get is him partially turning into a thief when Lightning will confront him again, but that is it. We will not know why Cactuar, the character Falsi, actually wanted to make him a Lucy again. nor we will know actually what his focus was supposed to be in the first place, even in 13.2.
To be
So-
fair,
Again,
to be
completely,
fair,
completely rendering the concepts that were established in the first game completely fucking
Yeah.
wrong.
to be fair, from what I've heard, something apparently determines if he actually does become a full thief during the boss battle. Like, I don't know, I mean,
No,
well,
the only thing that changes depending on the day you face it, and it only changes how grave his transformation is.
yeah.
But the
Yeah, that's
transformation
what-
still happens, Jova. It only can be just partially his arm, or until almost his whole body is developed.
Well, that's what I mean. It's like, well, at that point, he's technically a thief, since apparently you're a thief as soon as you get crystals on you.
You'll see, Jova, by the end of it. But the point being, we still will not know what was the entire point of making Snow Odyssey again. in
That I
13.2.
agree is stupid, and good gravy! Like, Hope,
Also,
Hope really
shut up,
has a
please.
lot!
He's still talking. He's still fucking
Again.
talking.
Okay. I wouldn't be surprised if the voice actor for Hope actually managed to get at least 10 years worth of pay from this game. Because, you know, most voice actors...
There is the
Definitely
one-man band.
All right, everybody. This is at the cost of
Teleport?
1 EP. You can teleport to any of the hotspots in the world.
That sounds broken. But, you know, probably
is.
helpful. Why? Okay,
Well, actually, that's a good. That's
why
a good
bother
segue,
charging us for teleportation? That's like charging
no,
someone for...
Once again, a great segue, Jova. Allow me. Basically, Jova, here's the problem. Oh, that's right. That guy in the background is playing the main Final Fantasy theme. That's right.
That's
The-
how
the-
things
Oh
are
god,
used,
that
folks,
guitar! It popped into existence!
yeah.
The anthem that is the cornerstone piece of music for the entire series was reduced to something something a dude is playing in the background.
And he looks
Not
like...
just that, a dude that's left like the most stereotypical, laughable clown you can imagine.
Actually, I was gonna say that he looks like he was dressed up like a Pikmin.
Not just okay. Anyway, it's a good segue, Jova. See, here's the thing: we have got ever since this game started, we've got now 2 abilities that consume EP. Over teleport, which, like I just said, allows us to teleport, and also the chronostasis ability. What does that does? It stops the timer from moving for a couple of seconds. Here's the thing: like I just said, you can easily replenish EP by just killing enemies. So it's incredibly easy to get into a groove where you kill some enemies, then you chronostasis, then you kill some more enemies to recover your EP, and then when the chronostasis wears off, you just cast it again. And once you figure out this trick, the ticking clock is rendered completely fucking useless, and you can basically finish the game off in record time. And as a result, you will never see those finals get tougher, like Taylor said.
Supposedly, the only way the game balances this out is by having a limited number of monsters that you can actually make extinct. The game even tells you that. But the problem is, even at low level, at low parameters, you can exploit this trick very easily.
Let me guess, you can
Yeah.
go back in time before.
I've done some various playthroughs of this game, and I've never accidentally extinguished a species of monster tail. You have to go out of your way to do it. It really is like that.
Anyway, see you for the next part.
See you, everybody.
Dead.